Hey guys, so step two of three that we have for commercial loans, especially specific to commercial construction loans, is corporate information, corporate documents. So there's 5 steps that I want to just discuss. One is formation documentation. So including in that, if it's a LLC, you'll have a certificate of formation, your SS4 document, and the operating agreement. So certificate of formation comes with your standard documentation when you file for your LLC, alongside of your EIN number, which is called an SS4 form. As well, now there's a little difference here. Certificate of formation or a resolution, if it's a corp, that kind of differentiates a little bit, but in the end, depending on the corporate structure, you're typically gonna have another formation document. The last one's gonna be an operating agreement. Operating agreement basically states who owns what as part of the company. So shares or percentage ownership, right? So as part of that, you're also gonna have something, most businesses at a higher level, if there's more than 10 people, 20 people, 50 employees, you're gonna have an org chart, right? An organizational chart. Most developers don't have that, but if they're corporate developers, they might have that. CEO, CFO, what have you, and different percentages. If there's corporate guarantors and different companies like sub LLCs that own part of the organization, that's when you're really gonna need that clarification of who or what entity owns what. As if there's a revocable trust or irrevocable trust, then it really gets granular. So you really want to get something called, about 3 years ago, I believe 2021, the FDIC and the interagency required beneficial ownership form. Actually, before 2021, but long story short, they want to get to the natural person. Who's the controller of this entity? For obvious reasons, right? Community banks, federally regulated banks, require a material person, not an LLC or another corporation that could be a front for something else. So ultimately, corporate docs are important. Org chart is important. Step 3, if you will. So number 1 is for formation documentation. Number 2 is organizational chart. Number 3 is BIOS. BIOS for the principals or the spearhead of this organization is important to just make sure that this person has the acumen for this type of project. Number 4, 3 years of corporate tax returns. Now, some companies file audited financial statements and or corporate tax returns. The highest level of account corporate reporting is actually audited financial statements, then it's reviewed financial statements, then compiled or compilation statements, versus tax returns are kind of the lower end. What you also want is a year-to-date profit and loss. So let's say it's a seasonal business, and you really want to know what's the work in progress or what's going on with this company. You really want to get a year-to-date. Let's say if it's up to June of that year or afterwards, right? So you don't want stale financial information. You want up-to-date information. So that's the 5th step. The last step is the most recent mortgage statement, just in case this is a refinance. And if it is a refinance, let's say of the land portion, then you're also going to want to get just a trailing 12 months of payments alongside of the most recent bank statement or mortgage statement. So those are the 6 components, or the 5 components for corporate information. Just a rundown again. Number 1, formation documentation, organizational chart. Number 2. Number 3 is the bio for the principals. Number 4, 3 years of corporate tax returns. And number 5 is the most recent mortgage statements. I'm Santiago, Lifeway Capital, here to help.